What makes this scene so perfectly capture melancholic longing?
我是早上6点多出生的，还有2分钟我就25岁了。换句话来讲，我已经在这个世界上经历了1/4个世纪。
Is it the pondering voiceover? The evocative score? Or maybe it's the deep blue that permeates each shot? Or the chain-link fence in the foreground of the framing that cages the character? This is the power of Wong Kar-wai. It's why, since the 1990s, directors everywhere have been trying to emulate a Wong Kar-wai movie and the indescribable feeling they evoke.
原來好多嘢會不知不覺。
Let's cook with Wong Kar-wai. Wong Kar-wai was born on July 17, 1958 in Shanghai. He studied graphic design at Hong Kong Polytechnic and eventually worked his way into the film industry in that city, first as a screenwriter and then as a writer-director. His directorial debut was the 1988 crime film As Tears Go By, which is now seen as his most conventional film, and was a modest success. After that film, his work turned more personal and enigmatic, starting with 1990's Days of Being Wild. His output for the next 10 years would become the stuff of legend and cast a long shadow over indie filmmaking worldwide. The moods he creates don't come from one single technique. They are culminations of a unified vision and approach that Wong applies to each step of the filmmaking process, one that is improvisational, elliptical, and prioritizes feeling over logic.
在1994年的5月1号，有一个女人跟我讲一声“生日快乐”，因为这一句话，我会一直记住这个女人。
This approach begins on the page. Arguably the most distinct element of Wong Kar-wai is his writing philosophy. He often heads into production with little more than an idea. Sometimes it's multiple ideas. He explains his approach to Chungking Express. As a writer, I always have some short stories in my mind which have not yet developed into a script, and I just picked out 3 and said, okay, let's start shooting. This results in a script that lacks a conventional 3-act structure, or even a discernible plot. Instead, character takes the focus and drives the momentum from scene to scene.
For me, it's always come from the characters first, because stories is more or less the same.
By examining characters as people rather than plot vehicles, Wong allows himself to focus on the minutiae of everyday life. The feeling of a passing moment, the atmosphere of a bar, the taste of food.
原來茄汁沙甸魚都有豆豉味。
A major element of his writing that informs his film's moods are his thematic concerns.
我知道我已经没有机会可以吃得到他的牛排，但是那个味道，我会永远的记住。
Themes of memory, the passage of time, and lost love recur again and again and are infused in every frame of his films.
There were lots of references to time in my films, maybe because I'm consciously aware of it and how slowly I was making my film.
These themes work together to create a sense of longing in his characters, and, in turn, his stories.
Nearly all my characters find themselves in solitude, and they are nearly always searching for something that would keep themselves from being lonely.
你唔好自暴自棄啦！前嗰排見你仲好地地㗎，無端端會肥成咁㗎。
Equally important to these themes is how they are presented. Wong largely works within subtext, showing feelings, wants, and changes, rather than telling. He explains, "We're not making a movie about what's said. We're making one about what's hidden." So, how does he show these intangible ideas like memory and loneliness? Through stunning cinematography. Wong Kar-wai's impressionistic approach to writing is carried through to his visuals. His most frequent collaborator is Christopher Doyle, an Australian cinematographer who is most closely associated with the look Wong is known for. Doyle composed visuals much like how Wong put together his stories. Wong explains, "Chris was like jazz, improvised, explosive." Doyle's power lies in embracing the environments in which he shoots, which are often real locations where he has very little control. Many times, this means using available light, leaning into the orange lamplight of In the Mood for Love, or the green neons of Hong Kong streets in Chungking Express. Doyle and Wong's visuals are typically very saturated, allowing them to use color to underscore an atmosphere or feeling. In the Mood for Love utilizes deep reds and ambers to represent desire, while the queasy teals in Fallen Angels emphasize characters' alienation. Camera movement and framing, too, helps establish mood. The handheld camera work in Happy Together mirrors the turbulent and lustful relationship between Lai and Ho, while the roving camera in Chungking Express highlights the mayhem of city life. Lack of movement is equally telling. In the Mood for Love, the locked-off camera mirrors the emotional suppression both characters are enduring. Throughout the film, the framing also separates the two characters, externalizing the forbidden nature of the romance burgeoning between them. Wong and Doyle will often use frames within frames to illustrate a character's isolation, whether it be with a hallway, a doorway, or a window. Where the camera focuses helps build on subtextual emotions and themes. Wong explains, "Hands betray what faces hide. A touch, a hesitation, the cigarette, the letter, the hem of a dress. Desire lives in those details, and hands don't lie like faces do." Of course, one of Wong's most recognizable flourishes is step printing. It's stylized and attention-grabbing, but it too is in service of mood building. This technique gives footage a ghostly, out-of-time quality, visualizing the feel of a half-forgotten memory. This mood is then carried into the editing room. In post-production, Wong Kar-wai often strives to create the feeling of watching a memory.
我们最接近的时候，我跟他的距离只有0.01公分。
To him, this means repetition. He explains, "Repetition is how memory works. The same song, the same stairs. Each time, the meaning changes. It's not nostalgia, it's haunting." Recurring images and songs build on themselves to create an almost hypnotic feeling and a distinct rhythm.
One of the keys in filmmaking is in finding the rhythm of the film. A filmmaker is like a conductor. You have to tune all the instruments to one tone.
Wong's editing is also the source of much of the energy in his sequences. He has said that his cutting is inspired by early MTV music videos, explaining, "In the late 80s, when it was first shown in Hong Kong, we were all really impressed with the energy and the fragmented structure. It seemed like we should go in this direction." But this doesn't simply mean fast cutting. Often Wong will alternate between languid, slow motion and frenetic sequences, maintaining a dynamism that matches the urban settings he so frequently films in. Music is crucial to the mood of a Wong Kar-wai film. He claims that music always leads the way for me. His penchant for repetition is the most present in his song choices, as he often uses a single song several times throughout a movie, bridging scenes together with a common sonic palette. He explains his selection of the two most prominent songs in the Mood for Love. Shigeru Umebayashi's theme came to me early in the process. That plucked string motif felt like a heartbeat, something primal and essential. The Nat King Cole songs brought this layer of exoticism, of longing for somewhere else. Together, they created this emotional landscape that the film could inhabit. Wong Kar-wai's work and the distinct moods he creates are a testament to his unwavering vision. How he approaches his writing informs how he approaches his visuals, which informs how he approaches his edit. These ingredients, taken together, create a singular wave of atmosphere and tone that audiences get lost in again and again. Have your vision? Plan your next film with StudioBinder's pre-production software, where you can storyboard, shot list, and much more, all in one place. That's all for now. Until next time, don't take any passing moment for granted.